Riffs are what distinguish guitar-driven genres from others. You can play a chord progression and it could be one of a million different songs. But if you take those chords and turn them into a riff, that's what makes the song individually recognizable. The melodic structure of a chord progression plus some rhythmic variation gives you something that sounds more like a riff. And rhythms play a huge role in distinguishing chord progressions from riffs. When you're playing metal or thrash in particular, there are some essential rhythms that characterize the genre's speed and aggression. Today, I'm going to show you some super rockin' thrash metal rhythms that you can use in any chord progression. And you can use these rhythms to give yourself ideas on how to create some memorable riffs. And if you're looking for a way to make your riffs sound even better, I'm going to throw in a little something extra for you. It's my Elite Tones cheat sheet and it's completely free. It shows you how to dial in killer amp tones and it shows you how to make digital amp simulators sound like authentic physical amplifiers. It even includes direct links to some of my favorite free amp sims. Just click the link in the description or go to ZachSharGuitar.com and download this awesome free resource. Then when you've set yourself up with some huge guitar tones, come on back to this video and pair those new amp sounds with some essential thrash rhythms. So I'm going to warm you up nice and easy with this one and show you the chord progression just by ringing out some power chords, okay? And these power chords are going to lay the foundation for the other rhythm patterns in this lesson. To start, we're going to use the classic E power chord, so that's just going to be the open E string followed by the second fret of the A string. From there, we're going to go up a half step and play the first fret of the low E string, followed by fret 3 of the A string. We're going to go back to that E power chord. Then we're going to play a G power chord by playing the 3rd fret of the low E string, followed by fret 5 of the A string. Then we're going to bring it back down to that F power chord by playing fret 1 of the low E string and fret 3 of the A string. To put those into the first rhythm pattern, we're just going to play some whole notes for the first 3 measures and then use some half notes for the last 2 chords in the 4th measure. When you let the chords ring like that, it can create an ominous feeling. Something that can be heard in the song Bloodline by Slayer would be a great example of this. So here's what this first bit sounds like. So now we're going to get a little faster and thrashy with this. And we're going to use some galloping rhythms. So we're going to be doing groups of 3. It's each group of 3 is 2 16th notes followed by an 8th note. So the first measure will start out with a quarter note of the E power chord, and then we'll do that galloping pattern. And when I'm doing the galloping pattern, I'm making sure I palm mute the low E string. Next, we're going to go up a half step and play that F power chord, and then gallop on that 1st fret of the low E string. Going back to that E power chord. Now we're going to do a group of 4 16th notes on the 3rd fret and then play that G power chord for a quarter note. And then do the same exact rhythm but drop it down to fret 1 where we're going to play that F power chord. Once you're feeling comfortable with that last galloping thrash exercise, you can now work your way towards this advanced speed picking exercise. So it's the same chord progression and the chords come in at the same time as they always do, but it's going to be a little faster. So we're going to start with an 8th note of that E power chord and then play 4 16th notes on that low E string, but we're going to make sure we're going to palm mute those 16th notes. We're going to play that one more time and then play 2 8th notes in succession using that E power chord. So here's what that whole measure sounds like. Doing the same thing on that F power chord on fret 1. Going back to a repeat of what we did on measure 1. Now we're gonna basically do some tremolo picking. We're gonna do 8 16th notes just on fret 3. We're not even gonna play the whole G power chord. We're just gonna play that G note for 8 16th notes, and then we're gonna finish that measure by playing 8 16th notes of that F note on fret 1. So here's what that sounds like all together. I'm gonna play it slow first, and then I'm gonna play it up to speed. As you can see, a single chord progression can be played numerous ways. In this case, I showed you how a darker sounding power chord progression can be used in different ways to showcase dynamics in a thrash metal context. The rhythms in each example illustrate essential thrash techniques and patterns. Feel free to keep the same rhythms in this video, but use different chord progressions and see what kinds of things you can come up with. The attack with the rhythms may be the same, but you'll get different flavors depending on what chords you choose. You could also combine different rhythm sequences to come up with something entirely different and unique. And if you want to pair your awesome thrash riffage with some epic guitar tones, don't forget to download my free Elite Tones cheat sheet if you have not done so already. It shows you how to dial in killer amp tones, plus it shows you how to make digital amp simulators sound like authentic physical amplifiers. It even includes direct links to some of my favorite free amp sims. Just click the link in the description or go to zachsharguitar.com and download this awesome free resource. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Zach with Zach Shar Guitar, and I will see you in the next one.